The Galactic Council had made it abundantly clear. Humans were not to interact with the Krell cubs. The Krell were apex predators from a death world even harsher than Earth, standing 9 feet tall with obsidian scales and teeth that could shear through starship hull plating. Their young were considered equally dangerous. Unpredictable creatures that had caused 3 diplomatic incidents in the past year alone. Grace Martinez had nodded solemnly during the briefing, filed the report appropriately, and then promptly forgot about it the moment she saw the cubs playing in the containment area, adjacent to the human quarters. "They're just babies," she whispered to Ezra Chen, her fellow xenobiologist, as they watched through the reinforced viewing panel. 3 Krell cubs, each the size of a large dog, tumbled over each other in what appeared to be a game of tag. Their scales hadn't yet hardened to their parents' impenetrable armor, giving them an almost iridescent quality in the station's artificial light. "Babies with claws that could disembowel you," Ezra pointed out. Though his tone lacked conviction, he was watching them with the same fascination that Grace felt. The cubs' caretaker, a nervous Valorian named Tekthor, had explained that the cubs were being socialized before their parents retrieved them from the neutral station. The Krell were negotiating mining rights in this sector, and having their offspring nearby was apparently some sort of cultural necessity. Grace's sunglasses, cheap, polarized ones she'd bought at a spaceport gift shop, had fallen from her jacket pocket during a routine maintenance check near the cubs' area. She'd reached through the feeding slot to retrieve them, and that's when it happened. The smallest cub, whom she'd mentally nicknamed Buttons for the cute way his snout wrinkled, had grabbed the sunglasses with surprising gentleness. Instead of destroying them as everyone expected, Buttons had somehow managed to hook them over his face. The effect was comical, a miniature predator that could tear through steel-wearing hot pink sunglasses designed for human faces. What happened next would become station legend. Buttons began walking differently. His posture changed, becoming more upright, more investigative. He approached his siblings with newfound authority, circling them, tilting his head as if asking questions only he could hear. Within an hour, the other 2 cubs were following him, and Buttons had apparently designated himself as some sort of inspector. Is he pretending to be a detective?" Ezra asked, incredulous, as they watched through the monitors. Grace grinned. "I think he is." The situation escalated beautifully. Tekthor had accidentally left the inner containment door unsealed during feeding time. The cubs, led by Detective Buttons, had immediately noticed, but instead of escaping or causing chaos, they had simply expanded their patrol route. By the 3rd day, the cubs had established a pattern. They would wake at 0600 station time, and Buttons would don the sunglasses which he'd somehow learned to put on himself. Then they would begin their rounds. Through the corridors of the human section, past the hydroponics bay, around the cargo area, and back again. They walked in formation, Buttons in front, the other 2 flanking him. Station personnel quickly adapted. Instead of panic, there was amusement and then genuine appreciation. The cubs had sharp eyes and sharper instincts. They noticed things. When a coolant leak developed in Section 7, the cubs found it first. Buttons had stopped, sniffed the air, and sat down directly in front of the compromised panel, refusing to move until Grace investigated. The leak could have caused explosive decompression within hours. When a cargo shipment came in with falsified manifests, smuggled Zentari spice hidden in agricultural containers, the cubs detected it. They'd circled the containers for 20 minutes, agitated until security ran a deep scan. "This is insane," Captain Holloway said during the emergency meeting. "We have 3 infant apex predators running security checks better than our actual security team." "They're not running security," Grace corrected. "They're playing detective. There's a difference, but the captain had a point. The cubs had found 6 safety violations, 2 smuggling attempts, and 1 actual spy from the Drexian Collective, who'd been posing as a maintenance worker for 3 weeks. The spy had tried to run when Buttons approached him wearing those ridiculous sunglasses. The cubs hadn't attacked, they'd simply herded him into a corner and sat there, waiting until security arrived. Ezra had been studying their behavior obsessively. "It's the sunglasses," he explained to anyone who would listen. Grace was wearing them when she conducted her investigations on the station. The cubs associated the sunglasses with authority, with seeking and finding. When Buttons put them on, he adopted that role. Its sophisticated mimicry combined with genuine problem-solving intelligence. The Krell parents arrived ahead of schedule, and the entire station held its breath. Ambassador Krellthor was legendary, a warrior diplomat who had once ended a border war by challenging 7 opposing generals to single combat and winning. His mate Shara Krell was equally formidable. They entered the station expecting to retrieve their offspring. What they found instead were 3 cubs in perfect formation, led by their smallest wearing hot pink sunglasses, conducting what appeared to be a routine security sweep of the docking bay. The silence stretched for an eternity. Then Krellthor made a sound that the translation matrix struggled with, something between a growl and a laugh. "Explain," he rumbled, his voice like grinding stone. Grace stepped forward, knees shaking but voice steady. She explained everything: the sunglasses, the patrols, the security fines, the complete absence of incidents or aggression. Shara Krell approached Buttons, towering over the cub. Buttons looked up at his mother, sunglasses slightly askew, and held his ground. "He thinks he is protector," Shara Krell said softly. "He thinks he is guardian." "He is," Captain Holloway interjected. "They all are. Best security team we've ever had, ma'am." The Krell parents exchanged a look that needed no translation. Pride. "We will leave them another cycle," Krellthor announced. "If humans can teach Krell cubs purpose and honor through colored eye coverings, then humans are worthy of deeper alliance." As the Krell parents departed, Buttons adjusted his sunglasses with one claw and resumed his patrol. Behind him his siblings followed, and Grace could have sworn she saw the smallest smile on their reptilian faces. Ezra leaned over to Grace. "You just accidentally created an interspecies police force with $20 sunglasses." Grace watched the cubs disappear around the corner, Buttons' pink sunglasses catching the light. "Humanity, fuck yeah," she whispered.